a year ago today, I finished Accutane. Like I did a Q&A after finishing Accutane last year, I thought I'd do another Q&A. So I asked you on Instagram if you had any questions for me being 1 whole year post Accutane, and I'm going to answer those questions for you now, obviously. First question, is my skin still sensitive? My skin is so sensitive, so I like to stick with the products I know that work for me. But yeah, it's not as sensitive as it was on Accutane, but it's still sensitive. How are your eyes doing? Do you have any leftover symptoms? My eyes are still dry. Not as dry as they were on Accutane. Again, I had to put eye drops in my eyes about 3 or 4 times a day when I was on Accutane. But now, when I wake up, it's unbearable. Like, I wake up and I have to find my eye drops straight away. It feels so dry, it feels gritty. After that, after I put my eye drops in, after I wake up, I'm fine for the rest of the day. I don't need eye drops unless I'm like staring at a screen for ages. But yeah, that would be one of my leftover side effects. I don't think I have any more. How long did you take Accutane and what was your highest dose? I took Accutane for 8.5 months, so nearly 9 months, nearly a whole damn pregnancy, and my highest dose was 40 for about 2 weeks, but I found that way too difficult. It was messing with my mental health and all that, so I went down to 30, and I was on 30 for most of my course. How long were you on the waiting list for? I went to my doctor when I noticed my acne was getting very out of hand in January. And then they referred me to a dermatologist, and I got a letter through the post about 2 weeks later saying I won't have an appointment until May 14th. So I was on the waiting list for about 5 months. So yeah, pretty long time considering the condition my skin was in. I would have thought that they were gonna push me to the front, but I guess it's just first come first serve, not priority. But whatever, I'm not salty at all. Loads of people just asking for the remaining side effects, and I think dry eyes is the only remaining side effect I have, really. I mean, what did I experience? I had dry skin, that's gone. I used to get headaches a lot. I don't really get headaches anymore. I couldn't work out. I can work out now. My mental health stabilised. I can't think of any other side effects. No, I think they're all gone apart from the dry eyes. Did I ever miss a day? Yes. Actually, one time my hospital completely and utterly messed up and didn't send me a whole month's worth of Accutane, so I went 2 weeks. Luckily, Dr. Emma from the Bad Skin Clinic sent me through some Accutane, but I went 2 whole weeks without Accutane. I was really scared that was going to come back. That was about like 6 months into my course, but I was alright. Sometimes I would drink, so I wouldn't take Accutane for 2 days. Other days I just genuinely forgot. So yeah, I would skip days all the time, but I mean, seems to have worked for me. How long after Accutane did I start laser treatment, and do I think it's worth the price? That is a good question. I was meant to get laser about 3 months after finishing Accutane, but because of the pandemic and the first lockdown, it was actually postponed for another 3 months, so I actually ended up getting it 6 months post Accutane. They say you're not supposed to do anything like that for at least 6 months, and laser probably a year, but Dr. Emma seems to think sooner you do it, the scars are newer, so they're going to react better than if the scars are more set, if that makes sense. So she's more of an expert than me, so I'll just believe her. And do I think it's worth the price? Now, as you know, I don't have to pay. I've been very lucky and blessed to have been on TV, so I didn't have to pay. Now, I didn't get the CO2 laser. I got other lasers. I'm not sure what they're called, like Ebrium resurfax glass laser or something like that. I don't know how much they cost. I think they cost around the $3,000 price per session, but I could be wrong. Now, would I could never ever afford that. Not even one session. I could never afford that, so I'm very happy that I've been able to get it for free. Do I think it's worth the price? Do you want me to be honest? No, I wouldn't pay that for the lasers I've had. Don't get me wrong, I think my skin has improved a lot. My hyperpigmentation has improved a lot. My scars are more shallow. All around I think my skin has improved a lot, but not $12 worth of it's not improved 12 grams worth. No, I still have scars all over my face, still have pitted scarring, you can still see my scars in certain lighting, so no, I don't think it's worth the price. But the CO2 laser, which I haven't had, I've heard really good things about, so if you want to get a laser I'd suggest that one, because I think that one's more worth the price, but I think it is a bit more expensive, but I've seen people get really good results with it.
Hello, Editing Mariah here. I forgot to mention that you cannot get the CO2 laser if you have any active acne lesions, and I had a few active acne lesions, and that is the reason that I didn't have the CO2 laser and I had a different one. Sorry for not mentioning that in the video. Okay, back to it.
Did my acne come back? What you've probably all been wondering. That's a hard one to answer. So in the summer, around 6 months post, I started breaking out again, and I would break out right before my period, and when I'm ovulating, I worked it out, it would be a 2-week period in between. I don't know if that counts as acne. I guess that's hormonal acne if you're breaking out 2 times a month. They weren't bad breakouts. I'll find a picture because I took some pictures and I'll insert it here of what it looked like, but compared to like the acne I had, that was so severe. Called acne conglobata, I don't know what it's called, but it was a severe condition of acne. So that's a very hard question to answer. Acne in general kind of came back, but my old acne hasn't come back. Fingers crossed, touch wood, I don't want that coming back. My dermatologist was worried for a while. She thought it was gonna get worse, so she's put me on tetracycline, which is an antibiotic, and that's been working quite well for me. It has reduced the breakouts. Some months I don't break out at all. I say I've been on that for about 3 months, so yeah, kind of. I know that's kind of a weird answer, but yeah. After Accutane, did my skin return to its original oiliness? I can't exactly remember how oily my skin was before I went on Accutane. Oiliness definitely came back. Like, I am oily, I get oily in my T-zone, but I don't think I'm as oily as before. I still think my skin is more drier than it was pre-Accutane. So oiliness came back, but not to the same extent, if that makes sense. I'd say I have combination skin now. Do you have pecos? Not that I am aware of. I hope I don't. I don't think so. I mean, I've never properly been tested, but they took my blood once a couple years ago and they said it was all normal, so I assume I don't. I hope I don't. Eek. Was I scared that my acne would come back horribly? Yes, I was very scared that it would come back. I had a few night terrors about it, and when I first came off Accutane I was like terrified, because that was like my safety blanket, and while I was on that I knew it was impossible for it to come back, and when that was stripped away and I was left like on my own, I was like, oh no, it's gonna come back. But luckily, fingers crossed again, it hasn't. Advice about going off Accutane. Topicals, anything you found helpful. I'm done in 25 days. Well, good luck to you, and I'm very happy for you that you're done in 25 days. The last month is always like the best one because you know you're coming off it. Advice about going off it. I would say, just because you're off Accutane, like, don't go over the top with skincare. Like, keep your skincare routine really simple. Don't bombard your skin. Your skin's gonna naturally change after Accutane. So if you notice that skincare products you were using on Accutane are no longer working for you, like for me, certain ones I use on Accutane started breaking me out. So you'll notice that stuff you are using is gonna stop working for you, and you're gonna have to test out some new products, and it's always a bit daunting, but stick with it. You'll find something that works for you. Topicals. I put Differin on my face, which I'm pretty sure is like a topical tretinoin. I don't think you can start that straight after Accutane. Maybe you can, but that's what I'm on. So like retin-A or tretinoin is good for the face, good for the scars. Vitamin C is always a good ingredient for the skin, helps with the scars, helps with sun damage. Ooh, AHAs are very good, so maybe like the AHA BHA peeling solution or the pumpkin enzyme mask, although do not use those until you're like at least 3 months post, but they're very good for skin. Obviously as soon as you come off Accutane you can't do that. Try not to worry, just take it day by day. Worst things worst, your acne comes back, you can always go back to the dermatologist and go back on it, but people are always going to help you. Just try not to stress. If you stress, that can cause breakouts. But yeah, that would be my advice. I hope that's good advice. how to handle anxiety about breakouts coming back. I think you just gotta take it day by day, and you need to tell yourself that acne coming back isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, depending on like the severity of it, if you get a breakout, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean your acne is coming back, and you probably will get a breakout. Pretty much everyone I know who's taken Accutane has had a breakout after finishing it, so don't think you're never going to get a breakout, because you probably are, but don't stress out when you do, because it's completely normal, okay? Doesn't mean your acne is coming back. Do I know anyone who's had a negative experience with Accutane? I know someone who claims that it completely ruined their mental health, and that their mental health was never the same after taking Accutane. It never went back to normal, and they wish they never took it because it made them very depressed. But other than that, most people I know, they don't like Accutane, but they didn't react badly to it. It helped their skin, it made it more manageable at least, and most people I know had an alright average experience with it. Is my body still dry as fuck? No, my body's not dry as fuck. My skin's pretty like combination. I get oily here and I'm quite normal here. The rest of my body's completely normal. I'd say my back's a bit greasy if anything. I'm starting to slightly break out on my chest and my back, but yeah, I know the dryness is so irritating, but it does go away eventually. Has my skin changed since finishing Accutane? Well, I'll do a little close-up for you. And this is where you can see my makeup looks awful. So I've got foundation on, and oh, I didn't realise that looked so shit. You can see my scars there. So this is what my skin looks like in makeup in a ring light. Well, it's hard to say what do you mean by my skin has changed, because pre-Accutane I had absolutely no scars, no hyperpigmentation, so in that sense, yes, my skin has completely fucking changed. Oh, I hate my big forehead. But other than that, I'd say my skin gone back to normal, if that makes sense. That's the end of the video. As always, if you have any more questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I will answer them for you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I answered the questions well. I get very nervous in front of the camera. Oh, I look like a crackhead now. I hope you're having a good day, and see you next time.